Normally, I do Roblox content, but this video is for me. I'm doing something different this time. So, Monster Hunter Wilds was announced recently, and I don't think I've ever been more hyped up for a video game in my life. Seriously, I've been dreaming of an open world Monster Hunter game since I played 4 Ultimate on the 3DS all those years ago. To the videos I see are looking at the teaser really closely and speculating on what's going to be on in the game, and honestly, what else can you do? I'm going to be talking more about what I hope is going to be in the game, rather than what I think is going to be in the game. A wish list, if you will. And first on the list is different mounts. Now, obviously, you're going to have a rideable monster in the game. We could see that pretty clearly in the teaser. But is that it? I mean, just the one? That just doesn't feel very special to me. Kind of homogenous, you know? I mean, I swear, I have a problem with games doing this, because the mount is usually my favorite thing to mix and match and, customize and experiment with. I really don't understand games like Elden Ring, for instance, only having the single option, and you can't customize it at all. That is an untapped gold mine of content. I mean, maybe in Monster Hunter Wilds, you can only have the one gliding lizard thing, or maybe you can have multiple different monsters to ride, each with their own different advantages. What if there was a monster you could ride, like a Velocidrome or a Barrock, that goes really fast on ground at the cost of not having very much verticality? What if you can ride something like a Tobi-Kadachi or an Odogaron that lets you climb walls, Breath of the Wild style? Or heck, what if flying monsters just straight up let you fly on them? Imagine that. Imagine firebombing groups of small monsters from above. Heck, forget about that. What if you can capture monsters? And what if they gave you the additional option, on top of capturing a monster, to either convert it into parts, or keep it as a companion that you can bring with you on hunts, and it'll fight alongside you and give you support? Imagine you randomly come across the biggest Nargacuga you've ever seen, and after a tough hunt, you capture it. And now it's your monster comrade, just for the rest of the game. Honestly, that's all pretty unlikely, since Monster Hunter Stories exists and has to continue existing past the release of Wilds. But I don't see it as being impossible. Anyway, though, at the very least, I hope we have a couple of options for what we want to ride into battle, because if it's just the one lizard, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. Speaking of options, though, Monster Hunter World introduced something that I am basically begging Capcom to expand on, and that is customizable housing. Having a customizable house is pretty much always my favorite thing in any game that has it. When I was little, I would spend hours grinding dungeons in Wizard 101 of all things, so I could buy new houses to customize. And I've always loved that there's this little unique corner of the world that is safe and entirely yours to customize and chill out in. Now, if you've played World, I know what you're saying. You gargantuan amphibious retard. Monster Hunter World had customizable houses. And that's true, but it's not really the kind of customization I'm looking for. There were only 3 houses, 4 if you got Iceborne, but honestly, only the Iceborne one is customizable besides placing Endemic Life down. Also, customizing your Iceborne house isn't really reflective of your strength as a hunter. Sure, there are some paintings you can unlock, but come on, most of that stuff is paid for. Imagine if you could actually craft a giant statue of Fatalis just to show off your mastery of a tough monster. What if killing enough Zamtrios or Beatotus let you craft ice-themed flooring or wallpapers? Tables, made of ice. What if you could have a fire room for killing fire monsters, or a floor made of soapy bubbles for slaying enough Mizutsune? What if you can actually place furniture instead of there being preset spots for each boring furniture item? It would make the whole process feel so much more personal. It would make the house really feel yours. And think for a second, if they had actual options for different houses instead of just 4 houses, where one of them is just objectively bigger and better. Seriously, the Iceborne house is objectively the only one you should choose. It has more spots for everything. It's the only one with customization. It has the most random stuff you can do. There's the sauna. You got all those chairs and stuff you can sit down on. There really is no other way to go. Like maybe in Wilds, if you really like ice monsters, you can craft a huge icy castle in the snowy region. Could you imagine flying back from a successful hunt on the wings of your Legiana, back to your house in the hinterlands to finish crafting a new armor set at your personal forge? Which you could also get by crafting. Picture a dwarven-esque underground fortress in the desert region that you can access by passing through a sand waterfall. The possibilities are beyond endless, but honestly, as long as your house reflects your achievements as a hunter, I'll be satisfied. And speaking of achievements, could we stop having achievements like this? Garbage like this ruined the achievement grind in World for me. Like, why? Why would they ever think it was a good idea to have an achievement that is 100% reliant on tough RNG grind? It would genuinely take longer to get a shiny starter Pokemon than to get this stupid achievement. Someone, seriously, like test that. Please don't do this in the next game, Capcom. I beg you. You know what else I like to see in games like this? Pets. What if on top of being able to capture endemic life, you could set one of them to just follow you around? I'm dreaming of a little parrot hanging out idly on my shoulder. Then a big monster starts swiping at me from out of the bushes and she flies away to a nearby branch to rejoin me when the conflict ends. I get that that's kind of what palicos are on the companion side anyway, but I'm talking about something that's purely cosmetic, like the pendants you could get in World. It'd just be nice to have a little guy, like a paratoad or lizard or bird, to follow me around while I'm casually gathering materials. Another random thing is that now seems like the perfect time to bring back Gammoth. I kinda have a soft spot for elephants, and Gammoth is just such a cool design for an elephant-type monster. I guess the problem with putting him in stuff is that most environments are too small to facilitate him, but come on. There's no way that's a problem for Wilds. You're going to be riding that chocobo in a wintry wasteland, and all of a sudden you'll be swept up in a massive ice storm. And when it clears, Gammoth is there in his massive glory, and he lets out a thunderous trumpet from his colossal trunk. Please add him back, Capcom. I'll do anything. Just please add him back. That's all I can really think of for now. I don't expect this video to do well, but if it does, hey, maybe I can do more stuff like this. I'm super hyped for Monster Hunter Wilds, and I'll definitely spam out some videos on that when it comes out, if I'm still even doing videos. I'm telling you, I need to become like a C-tier YouTuber at least so I can stay home all day and play Monster Hunter and have an excuse. Alright, well, that's kind of all I had written down, so, you know. Also, let me cosplay Guts.